Well, that's just insulting and stupid. Because assuming, okay, let's say we all believe in God here, just assuming, and this God, like the Roman Catholic God. What is a Hail Mary? Any Catholics in here? Right. Prayer to, right? And our Father? Yeah. Now, what does this old man have? What is he offering up to God? If you do this, I'll do that. Right. And a prayer is what? Well, actually, is it a real prayer?
No.
No. It's an acknowledgement. In the Bible, like Jesus tells people how to pray, and it's, I'm not going to go through the whole Lord's Prayer, but the main part is thy will be done, right? What God wants done. I acknowledge that whatever you want to be done, I'm happy with, and I accept that, and I submit to your godly authority. Here, he's saying, if you do this to me, I'll say these prayers. Now, these prayers are an acknowledgement. Assuming that we all here believe in God, does God need acknowledgement about the fact that He's God? It's like when a kid going to Toys R Us and like, Mom, if you buy me this toy, I will acknowledge the fact that you're my mother. There's no difference. It's insulting and stupid. Because first of all, the God that he's praying to already knows he's God. Doesn't need some old dude alone in whining in a boat to reaffirm the fact that he's God. Like the old man has nothing to offer.
It's like he's patronizing him with a false prayer.
Mm-hmm, exactly. He has nothing to offer. He has nothing to offer God. But again, the selfish desire of man is like we convince ourselves that we do have something to offer, and in reality, we don't. And if it was a true prayer, he would have said something different, like, if this is what you want, then I accept it. Not, you don't ask God for anything, you just accept what he gives. And that is not what the old man does here. This is a flaw, right? This is a character flaw. This is a moment of weakness for the old man, which I'm going to get. We're going to look at another one of those here in a second and discuss that, because it's important. It's important that this man has flaws. The old man kind of regains his composure. He says, I will show him what a man can do and what a man endures. I told the boy I was a strange old man. The 1,000 times that he had proved him at nothing, now he was proving it again. Each time was a new time, and he never thought about the past when he was doing it. Okay. He's made up his mind, first of all. And this is Hemingway's philosophy all rolled up in one little sentence. But I will show him what a man can do and what a man endures. Because that's what life is about. Waking up every morning, enduring things, enduring the pain, and achieving what you have set your mind to achieve. The 1,000 times he proved it before, he must prove it again. Not resting on your laurels, right? Like, it doesn't matter what you've done in the past. If you're not continuing to do things now, it doesn't matter what you've done. On 67, he says, if you're not tired, fish, you must be very strange. What if their character in this book is very strange? Right. That he sees himself in the fish, right? They're equally matched creatures. On 68, it says, man is not much beside the great birds and beasts. So that, so if you defeat one, when the old man defeats the fish, that makes the defeat even greater. And it also kind of harkens back to the story of Prometheus. Does anyone know the story of Prometheus? That stole the fire from the gods and gave it to man? What is it?
I remember what you said, but I don't know.
Okay, so when this is like old Greek mythology, when the gods made animals, they gave them physical attributes that allowed them to defend themselves, to hunt, to kill, fangs, wings, talons, whatever. And then when gods made man, or even fur to withstand cold. Whenever the gods made man, we kind of got screwed, right? We didn't get anything. We don't have, right? Is that going to help you against the lion, though?
No, but that's supposed to be our thing. That's supposed to make us better than animals or something.
Genetically speaking, yeah. Evolutionary speaking, we have opposable thumbs, which allows us to play our PS3s. But 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 years ago, our thumbs didn't do much against a lion or a bear. Trying to catch a fish really doesn't do much. It doesn't matter if you have an opposable thumb or not if you're trying to catch a fish, right? As far as survival, physically, genetically, into this world, we are the least prepared to survive, right? The gods ruled over man and over the earth because they had fire. And fire, not only the element of fire, but also fire represents wisdom, represents knowledge. And since we got the short end of the stick, genetically, I guess, Prometheus was a Greek. It was a Greek god, and he stole some fire from Mount Olympus, whatever, and brought it down to man and gave fire to man, which not only gave us fire as an element, but also represents wisdom, knowledge. So it's not just our thumbs, right? It's our brains that are able to create the PS3, that we're able to use our thumbs to play, right? But it's our ingenuity, our wisdom, and our ability to learn and adapt that has allowed us as human beings to kind of lord over all the creatures of the earth and become the dominant species. We don't have to worry about the fact that we don't have fur or fangs or whatever, because we can make a gun. But the old man doesn't have that here. He doesn't have anything. He's got, how is he fishing? Right. It doesn't get any more basic than that, right? The only way that this could be a more basic fight would be if the old man jumped over the side of the boat, swam down there, and punched the fish in the face. It doesn't get any more basic and primal than this. And that's important because the old man is using his experience, but he's not using much ingenuity, just sheer willpower and physical strength. And of course, right, story about Prometheus, animals are physically stronger than in general, right? The animals are the ones that have genetically the strength. And so it's this old man who is strong, but it's his willpower that makes him even stronger. Get into the whole arm wrestling match. And on 70, after he wins the arm wrestling match, says for a long time after that, everyone called him what?
Champion.
And he decided that he could beat anyone if he wanted to badly enough, and he decided that it was bad for his right hand, etc., etc. Okay? He was called the champion, and he decided that if he wanted to badly enough, he could beat anyone. What is this called?
Tribes.
Yes, all that. But as a literary device, it's foreshadowing. The champion decides, makes up his mind he's going to do something, and he's going to do it. We'll see in the story, right, that he was once the champion. He decided he could do it if he wanted to, whatever. At some point in the novel, he makes a promise to himself. That's either going to be him or the fish. One of them's going to die. And we know here that if he decides he wants to make his mind up, right, and he will be the champion again, whatever. On 74, he says he did not truly feel good because the pain from the cord across his back had almost passed pain and gone into dullness that he mistrusted. Again, pain is better, right? Makes you more aware. And it's dangerous to not be in pain in this type of situation. I mean, I don't know the name of the disorder or the disease, whatever it is, but there are people that are born that truly cannot feel pain. And like as a 13-year-old boy, you think that's awesome, but as a parent and as an infant, that's one of the most dangerous things that can happen to a child. Because these infants that have that disorder, they can chew their lips off, chew their tongue off, because they can't feel anything. You can literally stick their hand into a fire and watch their hand burn off in front of them because they can't sense pain. And I mean, I would do the same. I would stick my hand, and if I couldn't feel it and I didn't know any better, right? And I see my hand changing before me in this flame, right? Right. So getting between the phases of infancy to where they can actually understand what is supposed to, because they have to learn, they have to teach themselves what is supposed to hurt them and what is not supposed to hurt
There's
them.
an episode on House about the sheep. There was a girl.
That does that. There was a boy that died in India. He made it through, because most infants, I mean, most people don't live through infancy because they'll end up killing themselves. There's a boy in India. He was a homeless kid, and he died around, he was like 14 or 15. I was reading about it a while back, and he jumped off like a 10, 12-story building for money, because that's how he made money. People would throw bricks at him, or he would jump off a 2-story building, right, and then get up and go do it again, because he couldn't feel pain. And so he jumped off something high enough that was actually able to kill him. But yeah, he could not feel pain. And so that is romantic as it may, not romantic, but as cool as it may seem to not be able to feel pain, if you think about it in depth, what it truly means to not feel things, then it's actually a very, very horrible way to live your life. And again, Hemingway feels that way overall in general. Numbness, not being able to sense, not being able to feel things, is one of the worst things that can happen to you. Here, in this case, right, he doesn't trust this numbness, because it would be better for him to be dull and numb in this moment and get out of the pain of being put in this weird position with the rope and fishing and stuff. But if he's dull and numb, he wouldn't be able to sense the fish, right? I mean, he wouldn't know when the fish was tugging or letting loose or whatever. He has to be in pain to be sensitive to do his job.
Can they feel like anything or just not?
Like textures and stuff, yeah, I was wondering.
Like, can they feel stuff that feels good?
Can they feel like an impact? Like when that kid would land from 2 stories, like you could feel the initial like boom,
I'm
not
sure
the
there's a
pain.
sensation, but no pain.
No, I mean, I don't know. I really don't know, but I know. I do know that they can't feel sensation. Heat, cold, pleasurable sensation, pain, nothing.
On that episode of House, like I know it's all a script, but I'm sure it's relevant to somebody. Like the mother was freaking out, and every day the girl would come home, a teenager, and the mother would check her for broken bones and
Yeah.
cuts and bruises, because if there's something broken, a rib in your lungs, you can't feel it, you die.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, I know they can feel impact,
Yeah.
but
They can't feel stuff that feels good.
or no, you can't feel anything.
I think it was
Right.
a UFC fighter that had that disorder.
Yeah, he probably lasts 2 fights because he wouldn't know that he's hurt.